you didn't know. But the world is full of strange things. They're a little bit unusual to the untrained eye. I'm not untrained. My eye is not untrained. I feel adequately qualified to tell you all about it. Once upon a time there was a little boy named Gerald. He lived in a hut. It was a very small hut. It was made of mud and twigs and leaves, and it was in the middle of a forest. He built the shelter himself with his own bare hands. He worked his fingers to the bone building that hut. He was very proud of it. Very proud of it indeed. Until one night a gust of wind blew it all away. And so he set about building a second hut. Only this time he dug foundations into the earth with his bare hands after working them to the bone. His flesh was red raw from all the digging with his bare hands. He poured cement into the crevices he had fashioned with his bare hands. He stole it from a building site, you see. A building site just to the east of the forest. Little did he know that the cement mixture was cursed. Oh no, poor little Gerald. But all was not lost, you see. He was trained in the art of voodoo. So although he may not have immediately identified the curse, he was soon able to recognize the signs of darkness around. You see, once he started building atop the cement foundations, a voice spoke to him from the twigs he had gathered to construct the second hut with his bare hands that had been previously worked to the bone, and now they were red raw down to the flesh, which had grown back, presumably, since they were no longer worked to the bone. But I digress. The voice spoke to him from the twigs, and it said, "Gerald, I am an ancient spirit. I have been summoned by mystical evil powers, and I must end you. Begone, you foul spirit, from within the twigs that I gathered with my own bare hands," he said, and the spirit was gone. For now. Perhaps it would return later. Perhaps you should listen to the rest of my tale if you wish to find out. Or you may leave now, and forever be haunted by the mystery dwelling in the back of your mind as you try to sleep tonight. I didn't think you would go. As I was saying, he continued to construct the hut using his hands, his red raw hands, raw flesh, covering the bone, of which his fingers had previously been worked down to. He placed twigs and leaves. In a very sturdy formation, he'd become quite experienced at this hut-building business, you see. In fact, had he desired, he could have forged a career in hut-building, gazebo construction, perhaps. A little more complicated, I dare say. But I'm sure, had he dedicated himself to it, he would have found it no trouble at all. That night, as he lay on his bed of leaves in his brand new hut fashioned from his own raw flesh fingers, he heard a sound. The sound of a snapping twig and a crinkling leaf underfoot. Something was coming closer. Closer to his hut. The hut he had built with his own fingers and bare hands. Previously worked the bone, but no longer. one thing he didn't count on was long tendrils coming from the end of its fingers, and it was able to feel him. What do you think happened to Gerald? Do you think he died? No, he didn't. The demon had no intention of ending his life, for the demon was unrelated to the earlier spirit that dwelt within the twig, you see. This was a totally separate anomaly. And this demon was actually quite friendly. Its name was Timothy, and it introduced itself as such. They sat round all night playing a game of cards in the hut. The hut made of twigs and leaves, gathered by Gerald's own bare hands. Previously worked in the bone, now only raw flesh, of course, as previously stated. But as they played cards, Gerald realized he was winning a little too easily. The demon was perhaps allowing him to win for some reason. He grew suspicious of the demon. It rarely spoke. It merely played cards badly. And then Gerald realized something. Something terrible. The demon was not a demon at all, but a small child in a Halloween costume. He had been fooled. He decapitated the demon rapidly to ease his internal suffering. The small child's head rolled out of the hut into the woods. But it didn't stop. It continued rolling all the way to the construction site. "You're under arrest, Gerald," said the police as they arrived and took him away. He was locked up for life for murder. How strange, you may say. How strange indeed.